Right now, as you're watching this video, millions of people around the world are living with a silent threat that's slowly damaging their bodies from the inside out, and they have absolutely no idea. What's even more shocking is that you might be one of them. The World Health Organization reports that nearly half of all adults with diabetes remain undiagnosed, walking around completely unaware that their blood sugar levels are quietly wreaking havoc on their organs, their blood vessels, and their future health. Today we're going to uncover the hidden signs of what doctors call silent diabetes, those subtle warning signals your body is desperately trying to send you before it's too late. Let me share something that might surprise you. When most people think about diabetes, they imagine the classic symptoms we've all heard about: excessive thirst, frequent urination, maybe some weight loss. But here's what the medical community has discovered, and what the National Institutes of Health emphasizes in their latest research. The most dangerous form of diabetes often develops without any of these obvious warning signs. It's called silent diabetes, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Your blood sugar levels are climbing dangerously high, your body is struggling to process glucose effectively, but you feel completely normal. You go about your daily routine, unaware that your pancreas is fighting a losing battle, and your cells are slowly starving for the energy they need to function properly. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has identified this as one of the most pressing health challenges of our time. They've found that people with undiagnosed diabetes are at significantly higher risk for serious complications like heart disease, stroke, kidney damage, and vision problems. The scary part is that by the time traditional symptoms appear, the disease has often already progressed to a point where irreversible damage has occurred. That's why understanding these hidden signs could literally save your life or the life of someone you love. So what exactly should you be watching for? The first hidden sign that Harvard Health researchers have identified is something so common that most people dismiss it entirely: persistent fatigue that doesn't seem to have an obvious cause. Now, we all get tired, but I'm talking about a different kind of exhaustion. This is the type of fatigue where you wake up feeling tired even after a full night's sleep, where simple tasks that used to be easy now leave you feeling drained, where you find yourself needing to rest more often throughout the day. What's happening inside your body is that your cells aren't getting the glucose they need for energy. Your blood sugar might be high, but without enough insulin, or with insulin that isn't working effectively, that sugar can't get into your cells where it's needed. It's like having a full gas tank but a broken fuel pump. The second hidden sign is something that affects millions of people worldwide, and it's often attributed to stress or aging, when the real culprit might be silent diabetes. I'm talking about frequent infections that seem to take forever to heal, or minor cuts and bruises that linger much longer than they should. Research published in medical journals and backed by the National Institutes of Health shows that elevated blood sugar levels create an environment where bacteria and other pathogens thrive. Your immune system becomes compromised, and your body's natural healing processes slow down dramatically. If you've noticed that you're getting sick more often, or that when you do get a cut or scrape it seems to take weeks instead of days to heal properly, your body might be telling you something important about your blood sugar levels. Here's another sign that's so subtle, most people never connect it to diabetes: changes in your vision that come and go. You might notice that sometimes reading seems more difficult, or that distant objects appear slightly blurry, but then your vision clears up and you assume it was just eye strain or fatigue. What's actually happening, according to research from leading medical institutions, is that fluctuating blood sugar levels are causing the lens in your eye to swell and contract. When your blood sugar is high, excess glucose gets into the lens, causing it to absorb water and change shape. This creates temporary vision changes that people often ignore or attribute to other causes. The concerning part is that while these early vision changes might be reversible with proper blood sugar control, ignoring them could lead to permanent damage to the blood vessels in your eyes. Now here's a sign that particularly affects women, though it can happen to anyone, and it's something that's rarely discussed in connection with diabetes. I'm talking about recurring yeast infections or other persistent infections in intimate areas. The CDC has documented that people with elevated blood sugar levels are significantly more prone to these types of infections. High glucose levels create an ideal environment for yeast and bacteria to multiply. And many people spend months or even years treating the symptoms without addressing the underlying cause. If you're experiencing frequent infections that seem to come back no matter what treatments you try, it might be time to have your blood sugar levels checked. Another hidden sign that's often overlooked is what researchers call sugar cravings that feel different. Now, everyone experiences food cravings from time to time. But people with developing diabetes often report intense cravings for sweet or high-carbohydrate foods that feel almost urgent or desperate. What's happening is that your cells are literally starving for glucose. Even though your bloodstream might be flooded with sugar, your brain receives signals that more fuel is needed, triggering powerful cravings for quick sources of energy. Many people find themselves eating more sweets or carbs, but still feeling unsatisfied or hungry shortly afterward. It's a vicious cycle that can accelerate the progression from normal blood sugar to full-blown diabetes. Here's something that might hit close to home for many of you watching: difficulty losing weight despite your best efforts, or unexplained weight gain around your midsection. Studies published in major medical journals and referenced by the World Health Organization show that insulin resistance, which is often the precursor to type 2 diabetes, makes it extremely difficult for your body to burn fat effectively. Instead, your body tends to store more fat, particularly around your waist and abdomen. You might be eating the same foods and maintaining the same activity level you always have, but your body composition starts to change. Your clothes might feel tighter around the middle, or you might notice that traditional weight loss strategies that worked for you in the past are no longer effective. One of the most concerning hidden signs, and one that's often missed even by healthcare providers, is what medical professionals call silent neuropathy. This is nerve damage that occurs so gradually that you might not even realize it's happening. Early signs include occasional tingling or numbness in your hands or feet, particularly at night. You might experience what feels like pins and needles sensation, or notice that your hands or feet sometimes feel unusually cold or warm. Some people describe it as feeling like they're wearing thin gloves or socks when they're not. The National Institutes of Health has conducted extensive research showing that nerve damage can begin years before diabetes is officially diagnosed. The tragedy is that once significant nerve damage occurs, it's often irreversible, which is why catching these early warning signs is so crucial. Let me tell you about another sign that's particularly insidious because it affects your mental and emotional well-being. Mood changes and difficulty concentrating that seem to come out of nowhere. Research from Harvard Medical School and other leading institutions has established a clear connection between blood sugar fluctuations and brain function. When your glucose levels are unstable, your brain doesn't receive the steady supply of fuel it needs to operate optimally. You might find yourself feeling irritable or anxious for no apparent reason. Or notice that your memory isn't as sharp as it used to be. Some people describe feeling like they're in a mental fog, where concentration becomes difficult and decision-making feels overwhelming. These symptoms are often attributed to stress, aging, or hormonal changes, when the real issue might be your body's inability to properly regulate blood sugar. Here's a sign that affects your sleep and might be keeping you awake right now: frequent urination during the night, but not in the obvious way you might expect. While excessive urination is a well-known diabetes symptom, in the early stages, you might just notice that you're waking up once or twice a night to use the bathroom when you used to sleep through the night. You might dismiss this as getting older or drinking too much water before bed, but according to medical research, even subtle increases in nighttime urination can indicate that your kidneys are working overtime to filter excess glucose from your blood. This disrupted sleep pattern can then contribute to other symptoms like fatigue and difficulty concentrating, creating a cascade of health issues that all trace back to blood sugar problems. Another hidden sign that's particularly relevant for people over 40 is what doctors call slow gastric emptying, or feeling full much longer after meals than you used to. You might notice that you eat a normal-sized meal but feel uncomfortably full for hours afterward, or that you're less hungry than usual throughout the day. High blood sugar levels can affect the nerves that control digestion, causing food to move more slowly through your digestive system. This can lead to feelings of nausea, bloating, or general digestive discomfort that people often attribute to eating the wrong foods or getting older, when it might actually be an early sign of diabetes, related nerve damage affecting their digestive tract. Now here's something that might shock you: dental problems that seem to be getting worse despite good oral hygiene. The relationship between diabetes and oral health is so strong that many dentists are now trained to recognize the warning signs. Gum disease, frequent cavities, or persistent bad breath can all be indicators that your blood sugar levels are elevated. High glucose levels in your saliva create an ideal environment for harmful bacteria to flourish in your mouth. Additionally, diabetes affects your body's ability to fight infection and heal properly, making dental problems more likely to occur and harder to treat. If your dentist has commented on changes in your oral health, or if you've noticed that dental issues seem to be more frequent or severe than they used to be, it's worth having your blood sugar levels evaluated. Let me share with you one of the most subtle but important signs that medical researchers have identified. Changes in your skin that develop so gradually you might not notice them. I'm talking about small, dark patches of skin that appear in areas where your skin folds or creases, like your neck, armpits, or groin area. This condition, called acanthosis nigricans, is directly related to insulin resistance and can appear years before diabetes is diagnosed. The patches might look dirty or feel slightly thicker than normal skin, and people often try to scrub them away thinking it's just discoloration from poor hygiene. But according to research from major medical institutions, these skin changes are actually your body's way of showing you that your insulin levels are higher than they should be. Here's another sign that affects your cardiovascular system in ways you might not expect: feeling short of breath during activities that used to be easy for you. This isn't about being out of shape or getting older. This is about the way elevated blood sugar affects your heart and blood vessels. The American Heart Association, working with diabetes researchers, has found that people with undiagnosed diabetes often experience subtle changes in their cardiovascular fitness. You might notice that climbing stairs leaves you more winded than before, or that walking at your usual pace feels more challenging. High blood sugar levels cause damage to blood vessels throughout your body, making your heart work harder to pump blood effectively. Over time, this can lead to serious complications, but in the early stages, it might just feel like you're getting less fit. One sign that's particularly concerning because it affects your quality of life is what medical professionals call reactive hypoglycemia, or experiencing energy crashes after meals. You eat what seems like a normal meal, maybe even something healthy, but within an hour or two you feel exhausted, shaky, or irritable. Your body might be overproducing insulin in response to rising blood sugar levels, causing your glucose to drop too low too quickly. This creates a roller coaster effect where you feel great one moment and terrible the next. Many people try to fix this by eating more frequently or reaching for sugary snacks, which actually makes the problem worse over time. Here's something that might be affecting your relationships and social life without you realizing why: increased irritability or mood swings that seem disproportionate to what's happening in your life. Blood sugar fluctuations don't just affect your physical health, they have a profound impact on your emotional stability. Research published in major medical journals shows that people with unstable blood sugar levels are more likely to experience anxiety, depression, and sudden changes in mood. You might find yourself snapping at loved ones over minor issues, feeling overwhelmed by situations that wouldn't normally bother you, or experiencing waves of sadness or anxiety that don't seem connected to anything specific happening in your life. Now let me tell you about a sign that's particularly important for anyone who's been told they have a family history of diabetes: unexplained muscle weakness or joint stiffness, especially in the morning. Elevated blood sugar levels cause inflammation throughout your body, and this can affect your muscles and joints in subtle ways. You might notice that getting out of bed feels harder than it used to, or that your hands feel stiff when you first wake up. Some people describe feeling like they've aged 10 years overnight, with aches and pains that seem to have no cause. This inflammation is your body's response to the stress of dealing with consistently elevated glucose levels, and it's often one of the first signs that your metabolism is struggling. Here's a sign that affects women particularly, but can happen to anyone: frequent urinary tract infections or bladder problems that seem to keep coming back. High blood sugar creates an environment where bacteria can thrive in your urinary tract, and it also impairs your immune system's ability to fight off these infections effectively. You might find yourself dealing with recurring UTIs, or notice changes in urination patterns that don't seem related to how much you're drinking. Some people experience a persistent feeling that they need to urinate even when their bladder isn't full, or notice that their urine has a sweet or fruity smell, which is actually excess glucose being eliminated through the kidneys. Another hidden sign that's often attributed to stress or hormonal changes is what doctors call peripheral arterial disease symptoms in their early stages. This might show up as leg cramps during walking, feet that feel cold more often than they used to, or minor cuts on your legs or feet that heal very slowly. High blood sugar levels cause damage to blood vessels throughout your body, and the extremities are often affected first. Your legs and feet might not be getting the blood flow they need, leading to these subtle but important symptoms. Many people dismiss leg cramps as just getting older or being out of shape, when they could actually be early signs of circulation problems related to diabetes. Here's something that might be affecting your work performance or daily activities. Difficulty with fine motor skills or hand-eye coordination that seems to be getting gradually worse. You might notice that tasks requiring precision, like buttoning shirts, typing, or writing, feel more challenging than they used to. Some people find that they're dropping things more often, or that their handwriting has become less neat. This can be an early sign of the nerve damage that occurs with diabetes, affecting the small nerves that control fine motor movements. The medical literature shows that these changes can begin years before diabetes is officially diagnosed, making this an important early warning sign. Let me share with you one more crucial sign that many people overlook: changes in your body's response to physical activity. You might notice that you don't recover from exercise as quickly as you used to, or that workouts that were once easy now leave you feeling exhausted for days afterward. Some people find that they get sore more easily, or that muscle soreness lasts much longer than it should. High blood sugar levels interfere with your body's ability to repair muscle tissue and replenish energy stores after physical activity. Your muscles need glucose to function properly, but if that glucose can't get into your cells efficiently, your recovery time increases significantly. Now, if you're recognizing several of these signs in yourself, I want you to know that you're not powerless. The beautiful thing about catching diabetes in its early stages, even in what we call the silent phase, is that it's often completely reversible with the right approach. The research is incredibly encouraging on this point. Studies published by major medical institutions show that people who catch elevated blood sugar levels early and take action can often return their glucose metabolism to completely normal levels. The first step is getting proper testing. Don't rely on just a single fasting blood sugar test, which can miss early problems. Ask your healthcare provider about a hemoglobin A1C test, which gives you a picture of your average blood sugar levels over the past 3 months. Also consider requesting a glucose tolerance test, which can catch problems with how your body processes sugar that might not show up in other tests. The American Diabetes Association has updated their guidelines to recommend more comprehensive testing for people who show any of these early warning signs. But here's what you can start doing right now, today, while you're arranging to get tested. The most powerful tool you have is your diet, and I'm not talking about going on some restrictive, unsustainable eating plan. Research from Harvard Health and other leading institutions shows that simple, consistent changes in what and when you eat can have profound effects on your blood sugar levels within just days or weeks. Focus on eating more fiber-rich foods like vegetables, legumes, and whole grains, which help slow down the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. Include protein with every meal to help stabilize your glucose levels throughout the day. The timing of your meals matters too. Try to eat at consistent times and avoid skipping meals, which can cause blood sugar spikes and crashes that stress your pancreas and worsen insulin resistance. Physical activity is incredibly powerful for improving blood sugar control. And you don't need to become a marathon runner to see benefits. Even a 15-minute walk after meals can significantly improve how your body processes glucose. Research shows that muscle contractions help transport glucose into cells independently of insulin, which means that even people with insulin resistance can improve their blood sugar control through regular movement. Sleep is another crucial factor that's often overlooked. Poor sleep quality or insufficient sleep can worsen insulin resistance and make blood sugar problems more severe. The National Sleep Foundation, working with diabetes researchers, has found that even one night of poor sleep can affect your glucose tolerance the next day. Prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep each night. and try to maintain consistent sleep and wake times. Stress management is equally important. Chronic stress causes your body to release hormones like cortisol that directly raise blood sugar levels and worsen insulin resistance. Find stress reduction techniques that work for you, whether that's meditation, yoga, deep breathing exercises, or simply taking time for activities you enjoy. The mind-body connection in diabetes management is supported by extensive research and can't be ignored. Here's something crucial that many people don't realize. The earlier you catch and address these blood sugar problems, the more completely reversible they are. Your pancreas has an amazing ability to recover if you give it the support it needs before it becomes completely exhausted. Your cells can regain their sensitivity to insulin. The damage to your blood vessels, nerves, and organs can often be stopped and sometimes even reversed if you take action early enough. But time is critical. Every month that passes with elevated blood sugar levels increases your risk of developing complications that might not be reversible. The good news is that you now know what to watch for. You understand the hidden signs that your body uses to communicate with you about your metabolic health. You're empowered with knowledge that could literally save your life. I want you to take a moment right now to think about your own body and your own health. Have you noticed any of these signs? Have there been changes in how you feel, how you look, or how your body functions that you've been dismissing or attributing to other causes? Your body is incredibly intelligent, and it's constantly sending you information about what's happening inside. The key is learning to listen to those signals and take them seriously. Remember, having some of these signs doesn't automatically mean you have diabetes, but it does mean you should take them seriously and get proper medical evaluation. Many of these symptoms can have other causes, which is why professional medical testing is so important. But what you can't afford to do is ignore multiple warning signs and hope they'll go away on their own. The statistics are sobering. The World Health Organization projects that diabetes cases will continue to rise dramatically over the next decade, largely because so many cases go undiagnosed until serious complications develop. But you have the power to make sure you're not part of that statistic. You have the knowledge to recognize the early warning signs, and you have access to proven strategies for preventing and reversing the progression from normal blood sugar to diabetes. Your health is your most valuable asset. It affects everything else in your life: your energy levels, your mood, your relationships, your ability to pursue your goals and dreams, and your longevity. Investing time and effort into understanding and protecting your metabolic health isn't just about avoiding diabetes. It's about optimizing your entire quality of life. If this information has been helpful to you, please share it with the people you care about. Silent diabetes affects millions of people who have no idea they're at risk. By sharing this knowledge, you could help someone catch these warning signs early and take action before irreversible damage occurs. Your decision to watch this video and learn about these hidden signs shows that you care about your health and you're willing to take responsibility for it. That mindset alone puts you ahead of the majority of people who simply hope for the best without taking proactive steps to protect themselves. Take action today. Make an appointment with your healthcare provider to discuss comprehensive blood sugar testing. Start implementing those dietary and lifestyle changes that can begin improving your glucose metabolism immediately. Pay attention to the signals your body is sending you, and trust yourself to advocate for your own health when something doesn't feel right. Your future self will thank you for the steps you take today to protect and preserve your health. You have the power to prevent diabetes, to reverse early metabolic dysfunction, and to maintain vibrant health for years to come. The question isn't whether you can do it, the question is whether you will do it. Your body is counting on you to listen to its warnings and take action. Don't let it down.